Over 7 months ago, I began learning animation. Oof, that's a while ago. Nevertheless, first trying to animate was not easy, to say the least. Even now, after learning all the fundamentals and practicing countless times, it's still not easy. But the one thing I honestly struggled with the most was enjoying it. The harder challenges I took on and the more practice I needed, the less I felt the excitement which first got me to start animating. Especially when the animations wouldn't turn out the way I imagined them. So when I sat down to work on this video, I was nervous. I was completely motivated and I was thinking about coming up with a whole different idea for this video. But sitting down to animate this time was different, because for once in the whole time of me learning how to animate, I was done forcing myself to learn fundamentals. I was finally beginning to animate what I wanted to animate. So finally allow me to bring you along with me, my stars, to a process without my suffering. I know, me not suffering for entertainment is absolutely boring. I'm deeply sorry. And the first simplest idea I wish to glance over was animating clothing, specifically a dress. Unfortunately, I did forget to download the process of each part of the animation, so this is all I got. I don't really have much to comment about anyways, except the fact that I like animating big dresses. And it's totally not because I don't have to draw the legs. But I couldn't just go off imagination alone, I needed to find some inspiration. So I of course rushed to Pinterest. Now, this animation took me surprisingly longer than I expected. I'm not sure why either. It's literally 5 frames long, which I drew at once. Alas, I got to play around with drawing hair a little. Right, for my next animation, I didn't do much because it's only really one drawing that I moved over the circle. It reminded me of that one animation me Memo was doing not so long ago. If any of you know what I'm talking about, please let me know the name of it down in the comments. But now we're done with the simpler things. I wanted to do something a little bit more complicated than before. So when I found a similar reference to what I wanted to do, I began working on the base frames. And I was surprised with how well it turned out without any fill-in frames. But of course, I couldn't just be done. I added the final in-between frames and ta-da! I'm pretty shocked I managed to get the animation so well. I was expecting a spin like this to be a lot harder. And because of my newly increased confidence, I of course went out of my way to come up with a total new animation. And what's a better idea than to throw a character's head in the air? And of course, for an animation like this, I started with the 3 base frames, start, middle, and end. I started by animating from the first to the middle frame, adding the little drawback we usually do before throwing things into the air. You may have not noticed, but I only used 6 frames between the first and the middle frame. It turned out to be pretty smooth considering the amount of frames I used. Then I matched the number of frames from the middle to the end frame, and we're done. The only part that slightly annoyed me was the hands, because I of course couldn't draw them, let alone animate them. Oh well, I doubt anyone will be focusing on the hands. At least, I hope no one will be focusing on the hands. I genuinely got to enjoy animating for the first time in a while. I got complete freedom over what I wanted to do, and it made me more excited about animating again. And for now, that's all for me today. I'll have all the links to the Pinterest references in the description. If you enjoyed seeing me do this, consider liking the video and subscribing. Better yet, you can go check out my other videos on screen. And while you're at it, you can go check out my Instagram and Tumblr. Remember to shine bright, my stars, and bye-bye!